Hello and welcome to episode 4 of Fitness, Food and Fatherhood. Today we are talking to parents just like you on why you might be stuck in a never-ending cycle of not getting the results you want from your health and fitness efforts. We've identified 6 main reasons. Adam, if you want to take it away.
Sure. Well, one of the main reasons we came up with this is because we work predominantly with parents and have done for many years, and we've worked with thousands of clients over that period of time, and there's noticeable common trends that happen. So we've made note of a lot of things that occur when parents are struggling and came up with 6 reasons as why they are stuck.
Yeah, and if as well, just sorry to kind of step on your toes, but I could sense it.
No.
Start off
fine.
there.
Absolutely fine.
If you're new to this channel, or this is the first episode of Fitness, Food and Fatherhood, I'm going to keep saying it because we want to get that off the ground. If this is the first episode you've watched, myself, Adam and Billy all have young children, 5 and under, and we understand just how much that impacts your training, your eating, all of your health and fitness efforts. We've all been in the fitness industry in one way or another before our children were born, and it did drastically change our efforts, our actions, our habits afterwards. So we understand that difficulty, and alongside working with clients like that, we know some of the frustrations you're probably facing. So without further ado...
And don't expect that we are perfect with what we do. Exactly what Si is trying to explain there. None of us are perfect in what we do. We try our best as we want our clients to. So let's kick off. Reason number 1. Billy, go ahead.
I'm just standing on my own foot now, rather than both of you two doing it, so...
Nice. Billy's the jokester of the group.
So yes, point number 1 is we believe a lot of parents get into a point in their life where they're stuck in survival mode. And what I mean by that is that the things that you're doing day to day, the waking up in the middle of the night for the feeds, the getting the babies ready in the morning, the nappies, all of the bits and pieces that go with
day-to-day life.
Day-to-day life, yeah. You just think that is all that you can be doing, and we get it. We've been through it, so we know that it's tiring, and to try and do anything more than what you're currently doing might seem like a bit of a struggle. But what's happened is, because of your lack of exercise and your nutrition being a bit of a just grab and go type thing, your energy levels are massively decreasing. Your motivation has dropped down massively as well. So it does need a little bit of a kickstart, and that's why with the 3 of us, you are getting real life experience, because we have all trained and continue to eat fairly well through having young children. So we know that it doesn't need to be a case of this is just the way it is and you do that for indefinitely, really, because there is no period of time it gets like easier. So we just think that having these things in place and not just accepting that what your current situation is the way it's going to be now for the next 5 to 10, 15 years, and actually breaking that little myth that you've set yourself.
I also think as well, like just following on from that, kind of bleeds into the next one here. But a lot of you have got this kind of perception, like you said, if you're getting up in the night, or maybe you're going to bed late just because you want some time for yourself after the children have gone to bed, and then you get up early because they start their day early, you do the school run, the nappies, however old your children are, we're thinking maybe somewhere under 5, maybe somewhere under 10, something like that. It becomes this never-ending cycle, like you said, right? And if in your head you're thinking, how am I going to have time to get 10,000 steps? How am I going to have time to prep all my meals? How am I going to have time to go to the gym 5 days a week? When you're setting yourself that standard, it does feel like a very all or nothing kind of thing that keeps you even more stuck. I know when my son was born, me and my wife just lived off of sandwiches essentially, because grab and go is exactly right. You are in that perpetual cycle, and I went from maybe 3 workouts a week down to 1 or 2, but that was just enough to get me through that phase. And that's how we help our clients. It's not about looking all the way up here where you potentially could be and then judging it by where you are right now. It's just doing a little bit more and finding out what that little bit more is for you specifically.
Do you want to run through the next point? I think it follows in quite nicely.
Yeah, I think it kind of goes into that all or nothing thing, right? Like we said, if you're, we kind of coined a bit of a traffic light system previously, and it was green light was everything, right? That's your 3 workouts a week. You nail your calories, you nail your steps, you nail your protein. Those are the 4 big rocks that are going to get you the biggest kind of ROI on your fitness efforts, right? You nail those things, you've had a great week. just because you have a week where you might hit 2,000 less steps per day, or you might get to the gym once or twice per week, or you just get enough protein in, calories might have been slightly high, or you get calories right but protein was slightly low. That doesn't mean you've failed, okay? That's not like a off thing. You're off plan because you didn't do one particular thing to 100% of its like effort. When you've got children, you've got to be realistic with what your schedule is going to be. It's going to chop and change. You've got to be flexible with that, which is why, I don't know about you, but I always kind of put with my own clients, my one-on-one clients, 2 to 4 workouts per week. 2 being like a bare minimum. And we write them up so you can be done in 30, 45 minutes. Doesn't always happen. Sometimes I'll have a client who misses the gym completely or just gets one workout in. They better have a good reason, which 9 times out of 10 when we're dealing with parents, they do. And we have some kind of structure around their nutrition. It might not be tracking calories. It might be, reducing snacks or something like that. But it doesn't have to be this meticulous sort of plan where you're tracking everything to absolute perfection like you're a competitive athlete. Excuse me. You're not. You're a parent who's just trying to look and feel a little bit better. So break this all or nothing mentality, or you'll stay stuck. You'll stay stuck and you won't get the results you want.
Yeah, and I think moving into point number 3, this is not trying to rely on willpower all the time. Now, here's the thing. You'll have periods of time along your journey when you want to start something new. You'll start a new training program, you'll start a new diet. You make that start to improve your health, your fitness, whatever it may be. At that point, you feel really motivated and you feel unstoppable with the decisions that you're going to make. And willpower is really high. You've got a lot of it. And then you start a few days into the plan, maybe a week or 2, and then all of a sudden, life, which is demanding, starts to play a bigger role than you anticipated. You have lots more stress, you have lots more to deal with at home, work may be going through a tough period. All the normal life things that happen can then start to drain on your willpower. And during periods of time like that, it becomes finite, okay? And you then start to make poorer decisions, you start to maybe train less, you start to make worse decisions with food, you don't hit your step target, you start to sleep worse, and all of a sudden you have no willpower to give that you were relying on at the beginning. Instead of relying on that willpower, it's important to build systems and routines, because these are the things that are going to help you stay consistent with that plan. Linked back to that previous point that Si was talking about with this all or nothing approach, using that traffic light system and building routines and systems, you can have minimum non-negotiables that you hit, which are systemized and are structured into your routine. And then when you have lots of willpower, you don't have to think about this too much. You're just motivated to crack on. But when you are real deep into stressful times, life is busy, you can't rely on that willpower. So you have to just focus on the systems and the habits that you've built. So I think the overarching thing of here is don't rely on willpower, rely on the systems and routines that you're trying to build for yourself.
And I think alluding to a few of the points that I mentioned about systems brings us on to point number 4, which is you might have tried a quick fix. What this looks like, again, could vary so much. There's not many people that we get through our doors that hasn't tried some form of group program or one of these major national incentives that people use. And the idea behind them is, again, on getting you a quick result. They don't take into account any of your individual circumstances, and they're not very flexible. And the reason why you've then maybe failed or you've seen great success at the start, again, you've got high willpower because you've seen these great results, but because you've not been following a sustainable practice, it's inevitably led to you falling off track. Again, a couple of the points we said about all or nothing. Now, this might have built some form of like trust issue that you've now got with following any further plan in the future, because you might even then start believing that actually you just can't do it because it's failed you in the past or you failed. And this is the language, which is a very, very important issue. Even in our 4-week fix in the first couple of weeks, a lot of the messages that come into there are people saying, oh, I've failed this, or I didn't hit this for one day, thinking that it's this major issue that needs to be blown out of proportion, when in the grand scheme of things, it makes no difference. The problem that you've had in the past is you've allowed that to then impact your next week and your next week, and because things are then getting progressively worse, you are starting to now see that, and it reinforces that into your head that you are the problem, rather than actually the plan that you was following was just shit. Like, in all fairness, it didn't again account for your preferences, your circumstances. It made you feel guilty for maybe consuming too many calories at the weekend, or going to a wedding and you're being told you're not allowed to have this, having to then weigh in a village hall somewhere and you're getting judged by someone who doesn't even know what a calorie is. It's a bit of a dodgy sort of environment. So it's good that you're away from that now, but we're trying to reinforce with our 4-week fix program this trust that people have lost in coaches, people that try and help you to lose weight, and well, just try, and we'll prove it. We'll prove it to you. That's about it, really. Just
to kind of blend some of that together with some client examples, right? We had a message, 2 messages inside the 4-week fix. So it's a group coaching program. We're talking in there every single day. You know, it's not just us. Our members are actually motivating one another and showing up for one another as well. We had one client in there who 6 days out of the week hit all of her targets. 1 day per week her calories were slightly higher. It was a birthday meal out, and she was a little bit like, I kind of fell off a little bit on that day, but my average result was I lost 3 pounds this week, right? It's like, well, did you really fall off then? Like, is that really falling off, like one higher day? We also had someone who within the first week came down with a bug, right? They weren't very well, and their first kind of default behavior, like we talked about before, relying on willpower, their first default behavior was to dive headfirst into the biscuits. Now luckily they put a message in the group and we managed to kind of like rectify that. But one of my pieces of advice inside there was maybe just limit it to 3, right? Have a little snack boundary, which Adam's talked about before. You know, no more than 3 biscuits. That's a system. You know, we've got a client inside our one-on-one coaching as well. When I spoke with her during our consultation, she was having breakfast and then having coffee with something sweet mid-morning, lunch, coffee with something sweet mid-afternoon, and then dinner, and then it was something sweet again after dinner before bed, right? No time for workouts or anything like that. The system that we put in place was just removing those sweet things with the coffee and just plugging in a bit more protein at breakfast, lunch and dinner. That was it. We just changed that just a little bit. I asked her if she'd be able to get a daily walk-in at lunchtime. She said work lunch is very sociable, so she didn't really want to leave her colleagues so she could go and get steps in, which was fine. So all we did was just put something in the morning, like a little dog walk. Again, that's a system. Systems don't have to be these really daunting things. They could just be tweaking things. Fast forward 5 weeks, she lost 7 pounds and 2 inches off her waist. And the first kind of consultation we had, she was like, I just don't know if I'm going to do this. 5 weeks in, she sent me a message saying, I'm feeling so much happier, so much healthier, and so much fitter than before. That's the power of what you can, achieve inside 4 or 5 weeks. And this is like what we just talked about with trying quick fixes. A lot of people will sign up and say, I want to see results straight away. I want to see results within a week. Normally the first week or 2, we're just getting to know you. 4, 5, 6 weeks in, that's where the magic really starts to happen. That's where you start leaving behind old habits. You start realizing that willpower is not going to get it done. It's going to be the systems that we build for you.
Yeah, and I think a big part of what really gets people results is surrounding yourself with the right people. Not just environments like what we provide with the 4-week fix and our one-to-one coaching and the gym environment and everything like that, but it's people outside of us. It's family and friends. It's what you surround yourself that you're seeing online through social media platforms, through YouTube videos, all these sort of things. It's surrounding yourself with the right information from the right people that support you, that inspire you, that motivate you, and influence you to make better decisions. And we believe in that so much, which is why we create some really great group environments, community within our programs, because when you are in the right environment and you're surrounded by the right people who lift you up, all of your behaviors and all of your decisions are so much better than they would be if you were just trying to do this on your own. And this is why coaching is so important and so valuable to someone's success, because you are immediately surrounded by someone who wants you to win. So all of your decisions are influenced by positive reinforcement, and you get that support from other people, that encouragement from other people, and it helps you level up, and it helps you to inspire other people, which is a great motivator for yourself as well. So I think if you are feeling stuck right now, make yourself available to get into groups, find people with the same mission as you, the same goals as you, the same visions as you, and find supportive communities like our one. The 4-week fix is free, completely free. A 4-week introduction to what we do, so we can help you improve your health, your fitness, your habits, to lose some weight, to get stronger, to build confidence, and to be surrounded by real like-minded people who all want you to succeed.
The 4-week fix was designed specifically for parents like yourself who have tried everything and you might have lost confidence that you're ever going to get this done. Our job inside the 4-week fix is to take you from not believing in yourself, not thinking you've tried everything and nothing's going to work for you, to getting you to the end of those 4 weeks on the start of your journey, believing that actually you can do this with the right coaching or with the right systems in place.
And I think, following on from that point, I think the only way that you truly believe in your own ability is by taking action. Talking about things is great, but it's the doing that builds confidence in your own ability. The more you do, the more you try, the more you take action, you're cementing with yourself with more evidence that you can achieve more. And I think that's such a powerful thing.
Absolutely.
That reaction is because I was just going to come in at the end of that and say evidence stacking, and I was going to make it sound like this really good thing that I was going to. But no, Adam stole me. I'm like that. Sorry. Never mind. Yeah, but just to back it up, because I was going to say something anyway, so even if I'm repeating it, I don't mind. Evidence stacking is so vitally important because it's proving to yourself that you'll go along the thing, you'll get your steps done, you'll start following a bit of a plan, you'll lose weight. And again, we're always in the moment. We never reflect back and look at and think, oh God, I've done really well over the last 4 weeks. We're only looking ahead, which is good in a sense, but there is a period of time where you reflect back. And even if you do this weekly and you think, well, actually, I got quite a lot done last week. And what we're trying to reinforce in the 4-week fix, like Si just mentioned about one of the members that said they'd done really well for 6 out of 7 days, and they still lost weight, they still changed their behaviours for 6 out of 7. That's quite a big win to get from 1 week. So you do that 4 times over, you're going to achieve phenomenal things. And by having this, us reminding you, well, look what you've already done in the first week, the second week, the third week, you're going to start increasing that self-belief you have, which will then go into the future when you can think, maybe you look at a different challenge, you look at a different goal that you've never considered that you could possibly do. That self-belief is chipping away at you in the back of your head, going, actually, you might be able to just do that. And obviously we'll then give it a massive boot through the door and it will end up happening. But yeah, that's a major thing of having this evidence and showing yourself that you can do something that you might have previously said you can't possibly do. That might even be right now for you, having the time to do a workout. When we show you by all of those other 5 points that we mentioned with the systems, not relying on willpower, actually you will start to believe in yourself, and this can spiral into very, very good results.
So I think if you're watching this and you're thinking, do you know what, I resonate completely with this, you're talking to me, I get it, and you want to be a part of that, click the link in the descriptions below and get access straight away to our 4-week fix. All you need to do is enter your name and email address, and we will send you the link to get set up straight away, and you will be in the group, in the WhatsApp group immediately, with full access to everything that we have for you.
You've got nothing to lose except your bad habits and some body fat.